Hey guys, I just got back from Canada where I got to meet Mike Rosehart, who retired at 24 years old and is now a multi-millionaire through frugal living.
You know where I got this can of beans from? One of my tenants left it behind in the cabinet. I'm not even joking, I'm actually serious.
Really? Okay, maybe he's not that extreme, but we did have a great conversation and had a lot of really useful tips, so I hope you guys enjoy this.
I think people feel trapped, to be honest with you. I feel like they are stuck in this mindset of just consuming. They consume all of their paycheck. So how does someone who's stuck consuming all of their paycheck every single 2 weeks they get paid, it's all gone? How do they make a shift and a change? It feels drastic, but I think the FIRE movement's about finding a way to do that where it doesn't feel like a full sacrifice. Yeah. Like my life actually feels just as enriching as my neighbors does, and I spend half they do.
As someone who has reached financial independence, which I think is the goal for most of the people watching, how has frugal living played an impact in that?
Of course, the catchphrase, right? Like you got to spend as little as you can, earn as much as you can, and then try to invest the maximum amount to get to financial independence as quickly as possible. But It's for each person a little bit different. Some people are okay with maybe saving 10 or 20 or 30% of their income and retiring in 20 or 25 years. Other people are cool with my more extreme route where you can retire in 5 years and save like 85% to 90% of everything that you're earning, right? So it kind of varies for each person. And I think the things that, the important piece is you got to, like in minimalism, you have to determine what is of value to you.
Exactly.
And then choose how to spend those dollars consciously. So for me, it's like having a nice place to live, having a good house that I can hack. That for me is a really valuable piece. So I spend a good percentage of my budget on housing, and then I offset that by renting out different parts of the house. So the cost to me at the end of, net is not really a lot.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what was the first thing that you did, your first house hacker? What was the first step that anybody could take that you think is really accessible for anybody?
Yeah. The first place to start really is just getting an understanding of the movement in general, and understanding the basic tenets of FIRE.
Yeah.
Right. So what is financial independence and retiring early all about? And I think that's the place to start, is the simple math behind it. Understanding that if you invest, say, $1, that dollar will produce 4 cents of passive income for you forever. And so that understanding, I think, is the place to start. And once you understand the value of your money, and that if you don't spend $1, it's worth so much more, I think that's for me, that was the place that triggered it. It was literally $1 saved when I was 18 years old is $65 when I'm 65 years old. Yeah. So if I can save $1,000 when I'm 18, which is not a huge feat to do, you could save up $1,000. Yep. That's like saving $65,000 before retirement. Yeah. Do that with 10,000, it's like 650,000. So the power of compound interest. You have to think about what your time's worth and what you enjoy doing. I don't enjoy growing food all that much, so I just go and find a frugal way to buy that food for a good deal.
Sure.
And then value my time a little bit more and spend that time doing something else.
What do you have for frugal food tips? Do you guys like cooking batches?
Yeah, we do all that. So I'm big on getting really cheap groceries. Right. So I go to the superstore here in London, Ontario, Canada, where there's Student Tuesdays. I still have an old master student card. So 10% off student deals. They have a PC program points. So you get points when you buy stuff. And they'll send you promotions. It's really weird. Buy $20 in produce, get $10 in gift card. So that's 50% off produce, effectively, if you buy certain produce items that they want you to buy that week. And then they offer price matching. So I go and grab all the flyers of the 20 grocery stores, and I price match the loss leader items from each one. So for instance, Food Basics, another local food chain, they'll put cucumbers on as a loss leader for below cost. And then I'll go buy those cucumbers from Food Basics and price match them at Superstore.
So you don't have to go to a zillion different stores. You just do it.
I just go to one and I price match. There's an app called Flip, FLIPP in Canada, that's great. You can type in cauliflower and it shows you all the cauliflower on sale at every single store, lettuce. So every single item that I buy, put it through that app, and it shows me what's on sale, and I grab it, and at the cashier's checkout, I just show them and I price match it. So you can get produce, healthy produce for 50% off, 60% off.
That's awesome.
So where I would maybe spend $100 normally, I can spend $40 instead.
Nice. Is that what you guys mostly do, fruit, produce and stuff? Because a lot of people think that you can't eat healthy, cheap, healthy foods. Well, I would like to eat healthy, but that's expensive. And
it's actually cheaper to eat healthy than it is to eat prepackaged.
Yep.
We know that, right? Buying a prepackaged meal is $4 at the grocery store. Yep. I can make that for $2. Often, many times, use ingredients like avocados that are rich in and fats and healthy oils and things like that in your salads that they can be robust and healthy and cheap too. Like if you look down your budget, that's the place to start, is like just track where you're spending. Where's the money leaving your account? And you'll find out like, hey, I'm spending like the average family spends like $4,000 something a month.
Yeah.
So where is that $4,000 going? The average person's rent's like maybe $1,500, $1,500. So where's the other $2,500 going? In most cases, it's going to like that experience where you're going out to a restaurant, or maybe it's like partially your transportation because you haven't figured out how to buy a cheap car in cash and saved up after 2 or 3 months, right? Yeah. Like a $2,000 car doesn't take that long to save up for. And insurance of $90 a month is not going to break the bank. If your gas cost is $30, $40, your transportation cost is very, very small if you make an average North American salary. And so transportation and housing are already out of the way. Those are the two majors. Where else do I spend my money? I don't, right? Like we just don't. Like we go out, we use a Groupon, or we'll go out and use a coupon when we go out to have dinner, and it's like, oh, 2 for 1. So we'll go eat and eat for $20 and eat out once every other week instead of eating out every single day. Those small choices, they add up.
And it's also that they add up in other ways. A lot of these things that we're cutting out it's really end up helping us. If you go out to eat all the time, you're probably going to be overweight and you're not going to be as happy because you're eating like junky, greasy food.
Yeah.
Or if you always like get boxed stuff because, well, it's quicker and it's cheaper. Like it's not.
It's not cheaper.
Or if you go out to like, I don't have time to cook right now, I'm going to go grab takeout. That's not quicker. Like you're driving to this place, you're waiting for your food, you're ordering, you're coming back, you're taking it out. It's like, it takes like 10 minutes to cook something healthy at home.
Yes.
So I think
you can literally make a salad in like 6 minutes. Like crush some nuts up, make some homemade dressing, put it on some spinach and leaves and whatever, put a little bit of vegetables in there, done. There's 5 minutes. I used to watch at lunchtime, I would make my own. I'd bring the raw ingredients to work and just have them in the fridge, and I can make my stuff at lunch. I'd watch people walk, or even most of them would drive like 10 minutes across the city to go get like a lunch, like you said, and drive back. And I'm like, they're like, well, I wanted to save time. I didn't want to pack my lunch. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm making my lunch right now. I'm making the sandwich right here.
Yeah.
Brought the natural ingredients. And mine was $1. Yours was like $12. Yeah. So now I'm $11, ahead financially. And they make that decision every single day. And people wonder why I'm so much further ahead. It's because those decisions compound. It's not just $11 at lunch. It's $11 invested over 30 years. And it becomes this huge amount. And all of these decisions compound and they build up to this massive, basically, deficit, or if you're saving them, then they add up to this massive fire fund that you can live off of for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's like focus on, your car, your housing, your food. You get those three, like the big, probably the highest expenses in 90% of people's lives. If you get those like relatively figured out, you figure out how to live for free, figure out how to drive for free, you figure out how to get your food half off, then like the little things don't really matter that much. But if you are in that first step, which a lot of people probably are, then those little things do add up. That $5 or that $10 a day for lunch, you do that, this is $50 a week. You do that, or like you add all these things up, and it ends up to being, that's where your $10,000 went.
Yeah.
It wasn't this $4 latte. It was the $4 latte plus the $10 lunch plus the $20 dinner plus the extra car payment plus,
I feel like in a lot of ways, the sacrifice is almost self-imposed. Like we believe that by cutting back, there's less happiness. And what you find if you actually experiment with that for a few weeks and you study people who are doing this, they're actually much happier. Like when you're on vacation, for instance, you could have went to like the fair and spent like $100, like tossing like balls into like a little hoop and then win like a stuffed toy that you're going to throw in the garbage after.
Yeah.
Or you could have a meaningful walk along the water and take in like a breathtaking view for free, amazing, and have that experience with your significant other and have that sort of, I think, lifetime memory versus having one that's going to be forgotten, right? Yeah, and the cost of that is huge because that $100 now, if you have to work at $20 an hour, that's 5 hours. After tax, it's like a whole day. It's like an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
Right? So after tax, after you've paid your tax to the government, what's left over is you just cost yourself a day. And so I used to think every time I go out to an event like that, like I was at Niagara Falls, I'd be like, guys, let's just go for a walk down here and do this instead. Yeah. Because do you want to go off to work another day? Like, is it actually worth a full day of your life?
Sure.
Probably not. Like for me, it wasn't. And so it's those consistent choices. Like, is that new car worth 8 years of your life working? If it is, cool. Like 8 years, just remember 8 years of slavery is a long time from 8 to 5 every single day. And some people are like, you know what, that new Tesla, totally worth it. But it's up to the individual. And I think we have to think through the actual cost of our actions. Studies show
Most important.
that if you have $1,000, or let's say I gave someone $1,000, and one person went out and spent the money, and the other person went out and saved the money, and you track them over like a 2-week period, what you'll see is a chart that looks like this. The person, every time they look at that $1,000 in their bank account, gets almost a similar high to when they spend the money. So you're actually just as happy looking that you have the money and thinking about how it's like growing and whatever. You're actually just as happy as you would be as almost spending the money. The thing with the spending the money is you get a short-term high and then you fall back to baseline. So it's a very, very short-term high that is at a peak higher than saving the money. So what you have to do is program your mind to say, hey, I'd rather have continual blips of happiness by keeping that money, because every time I look at it, I get that rush of happiness and my life is overall better than getting that huge short-term burst and then back to baseline. You get a brand new Ferrari, within a week, the happiness baseline is almost always returned. They study this. People get mansions, they get Ferraris, all the things you think you need as a consumerist, like whatever the goal is for yourself. Like maybe you want to go on that amazing trip. We know that materialistic possessions are the lowest of all the happiness triggers. So they create a short-term happiness that returns to baseline. The body acclimatizes and gets used to it. Trips and experiences are a little bit higher up on the threshold. So if you go on a really nice trip, there is justification that will lead to longer overall happiness. But the greatest level of happiness is literally when people save the money and have an enduring levels of freedom. Yeah.
That's really cool.
So there's a bit of data around that that just says that like basically experiences are better than stuff. So don't buy stuff. If you have to spend your money, at least spend it on experiences. But at the same time, you want to kind of balance that with, hey, what is going to be good for my financial self in the future? What is going to be good for my future self? And so if you weigh that out and say, okay, maybe it is worth it. Maybe going to the carnival for $100 in Niagara Falls, maybe that's worth it if that's the one thing you really want to do. But you have to realize you now have to go back and work a day to earn that back. Or maybe you have to work a week or a year or a month. And that whole month, I guarantee you, when you're grinding in that soulless job for a month, you're going to regret that 2-hour blip of happiness at the carnival, right? And so, especially if you actively think about, hey, I'm here because of this choice. And so it's, I think, taking accountability for your actions and saying, hey, I'm here because of this choice. There are impoverished people in my city who make like $15,000 a year who spend the same I do. Net of my house hack, my car costs $2,000, has almost no maintenance. I bought it for $2,000. I'll sell it for $2,000 in 3 years. So I'll have zero depreciation. My insurance cost for the two of us is $94 a month. We have a $5,000 deductible because we're self-insuring. We know we're not going to make a claim. It's an old car. Something happens, whatever. We've got liability coverage. That's it, pretty much, right? So we have no collision, none of that. We just basically have, if something happens, we're protected. So I got the insurance costs way down. Fuel, this car is a 2009 Ford Focus, very, very efficient on fuel. Maybe fill up once every 2-3 weeks. It's like $35-40 to fill up on gas. So it's like $50. It can go 700 kilometers. 700 kilometers is a long way. That'll last me several weeks of driving around the city.
If you guys were wondering, that is around 434 miles. For those of you who don't know what kilometers are, like me, if you guys enjoyed that, please hit the like button and go check out Mike Rosehart's channel. I'll put a link like over here somewhere and then also put it down in the description. And if you guys want to see the full 1-hour interview that we did, that turned into a podcast, I'm going to be uploading it on Finances Unfiltered, my podcast. We're changing the name of it, so go check that out. It's going to be awesome. Had a ton of great content. I really enjoyed that conversation. So go check him out, check the podcast out, hit the like button. Thank you guys very much.